So the problem I was having with my website before I decided to invest with Practice Momentum was that my website was hosted by Yell. I was tied to them for hosting, for SEO, and for my Google AdWords. And they also started messing around with the wording on my website and also posting blogs in my name without my prior approval. I couldn't afford to spend any more money with them. My new patient inquiries dropped off dramatically. I decided that enough was enough and I would be looking around for somebody else to do my website for me.
We linked in with Dave and Jill from a website perspective, which was fantastic to really go through. It made us really think about like what we were offering, who our dream patient was, and then kind of how that journey looks for the patient to flip and roles essentially. And I think that was a really useful way of just looking back a bit, stepping back from our practice, because I think you get kind of into the day in, day out stuff, and I think that's been really helpful, and that's something we try and continue to do. So we were in a state of kind of unknown, definitely no clarity around what we were doing, what we were offering.
I'm finding working on the website easier than I actually thought it was going to be. I've found it fairly straightforward, and I've managed to work things through on my own and also getting help whenever I've needed it. If I've had to ask someone's always been there to help me. So actually the whole process has been much more straightforward than I had envisaged it might have been.
I really enjoyed working through the process of the bespoke website service. This is the 4th website that I've had done and definitely the least stressful. Having the Practice Momentum team who are specialists in helping small healthcare businesses, and particularly Jill with her background both in podiatry and marketing, was a tremendous help and very reassuring.
We've really noticed that the information that's on our homepage, the about page, it's all flows, it's all absolutely really clear now as to the type of patients we can help. And I guess what I think is different is the journey that you go through on the website for patients is much better than we ever had before. It's really clear, the booking process is easy, and I think the feedback we get from patients is that the whole process from booking in and finding us is great. And I think we definitely didn't have that before, so that's been brilliant from working with Dave and Jill on the website.
I do ask them when they come for their initial appointment what it is that brought them to me, and a lot of them have said the site looks professional, it's very easy to follow, I've got online booking which they love. And so yeah, but the majority of it's been very positive. And also I think I've actually it's created to bring in patients that I want to see.
Working with Practice Momentum has changed things for my practice quite considerably. I now have a standalone website with minimal running costs that I own and I can sell with my business when I retire. I'm not tied to a big corporation who can just move people off my account and appoint someone else without discussing it with me. We've also taken over my Google AdWords, and this saves me hundreds every month.
It's really supportive. The Slack channel and the ability to share information was easy, and the feedback was really helpful. And again, that was a really useful way of thinking again about what we wanted out of our website to make it individual for us. So there was some really nice feedback from Jill and from Dave, and actually didn't take very long to do. There was a bit of work involved, obviously our end, but the working around, because we live in a really rural area, they made it individual from an images point of view, and some of the graphics and the colours that we use. So it just felt like a really individualised process as well. It didn't feel like we were just following a format that everybody else does, which was really, really helpful.
The site looks so much more professional and clearer than what I had created 3 years ago.
So if you own a small practice and you're thinking about building a new website, Practice Momentum have the best people to work with if you are a healthcare practice. They are experts about the IT side of it, and they have the inside track on what it's like to run your own healthcare business.
Feedback from patients has been positive. I've actually had an increase in new patients come to me.
I decided to work with Practice Momentum over the other options. It was the amazing reviews from other satisfied customers, many of whom already knew. I'd known Jill for a while already, and I'd explored looking at a couple of local companies, but I didn't get that feeling of confidence from them that made me want to use them. So after talking to Jill and her team, I knew instantly that they were right for me.
So if somebody else was to ask me about recommending Practice Momentum for their website, I would 100% say yes. I think the fact that we approached other website designers, but they didn't have any knowledge from a clinical perspective, and I think the fact that you're working with somebody that's worked as a podiatrist in the health sector is really helpful, rather than just being more of a generic website designer, because there's a lot of information out there and get contacted regularly. So that was really, really helpful, and I think you'll get real expertise and specific guidance through Jill and Dave.
Having a website designed by somebody from my industry gives me a huge sense of security that the finished product would edify my work, but at the same time speak to the people we can help. The single greatest takeaway from completing the creation of my new website is I wish I'd done it years ago.